You don't got to talk that close to the microphone.
I don't?
No, don't got to eat it. Okay, here we are with McHank.
Hi.
Hi, Hank. How are you? It's McHank.
McHank.
McHank. I'm sorry. Brief history. I've just met him a few times. I have a studio here in La Mesa, and he hangs out at this record store. Do you work there too, or hang out? What do you call
my
it?
friend's shop. So he's like, you want to look through these comics and see what they're worth? I'm like, yeah, okay. It's not. I wouldn't say it's work.
Yeah, it's Reanimated Records.
Yeah. Reanimated Records.
And as I met him, and he introduced me to some art that he does, and because I love to talk to artistic people, that's what we're here for. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This is cool.
So explain a little bit about your style art.
Okay, so I started becoming serious about art, or trying to do art, when I was in junior high, and I was trying to do comic book style stuff, and I wasn't that good, but I really wanted to do it, so I would always copy, always.
Any favorites back then, like
Arthur Adams?
Yeah,
he was huge. I didn't get into Kirby until I was older. I didn't appreciate simple stuff when I was younger.
I love Kirby.
I love him too. No, I know. But I got to be honest. I mean, I love him now, but it wasn't until I started trying to draw with a brush that I got Kirby.
Yeah, I didn't like him when I was younger too.
Yeah, because you don't get it.
Because I remember at Comic-Con, his pages were so cheap back then. I mean, it's like, boom, you had gold mine there. Yeah. Now you can't touch them.
Exactly. People realized.
They finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm stoked they did.
But another early favorite that's still a favorite is Rick Griffin.
Oh.
Because that's all I wanted to do. I got the rock and roll poster book, the big purple book. And I was like, okay, that's all I want to do is concert posters and record covers. And I had Fragile by Yes. That was one of my favorite album covers. And After Bathing at Baxter's by Jefferson Airplane, that has like a really cool, like one of those San Francisco houses, like the kind of like Portuguese like style.
Okay, yeah.
And it's an airplane, like a biplane.
I don't remember seeing that one.
It's a rad cover, and just like that kind of thing like really inspired me to like, okay, I'm gonna draw that. And then I think, like these people aren't, at some point you think like these people aren't just copying, how do I go a little further, make my own thing?
Yeah.
I didn't get to that till I did and didn't. I didn't see what I was getting at when I did it when I was in high school. Like I'd do a couple here and there that were really good, and it was like unconscious.
Yeah.
And then I could kind of focus it more when I got to be maybe 21 or 22. And by then I'd been doing art for bands since I was 16.
What was your first gig, or what was your first job?
First poster was a show for Nasal Sex, San Jose band, punk band, but they were opening for MDC.
Oh, yeah.
At the Cactus Club in San Jose.
What year was that?
91.
Do you still have one of those posters?
I have like 5
That's
copies and the original.
Oh, I love that.
I have all but 2 of the originals I've ever done for bands, and one somebody bought. They specifically said, I want to buy it when you make it,
Yeah.
So I was, all right, I'm obliged.
Yeah.
And then the other one, my sister wanted, and I gave it to her.
Do you not want to let go of your art?
Well, I do now, but it took me a long time to get to that point. And it used to always be, I didn't know how to price it, so I would either give it to friends, or like other people would approach me for it, and I'd be like, 1,000 or 100 or But what I finally developed as I started doing pet portraits.
Yeah.
And I kept doing work for bands. And bands always, you're like, hey, can I get $20? And they're like, I don't think we have $20. I'm like,
we'll give you a drink ticket.
And you don't have $20. So what I started doing is pay what you wish.
Yeah.
And once you do that, like people aren't as cheap as band members.
Yeah.
You're like, they actually care that you put the time into it and they want to pay for
That's cool.
your work.
And were you ever like, thanks, or more like, wow, thank you?
It's mostly thank you, like wow, thank you,
Yeah.
And because of that, I would never complain if somebody, the reason I say pay what you wish is I don't want anybody to feel like they can't get something from me.
Yeah.
So, like, if they're like, okay, well, I have this much, and I realize that this much is a lot more to that person, I want to be fair, and I want to say, okay, well, I'll do, whatever how many hours would you do work for that much money?
Exactly. Yeah, it's hourly thing. You got to figure out the hour, and and then there's materials too and stuff like that.
Right, and then if it's something I love doing, I'll just get carried away and I'll do it until I like it.
I felt so weird the first time someone wanted to buy a piece of me. I wasn't expecting that, and I tried to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you want it? Why? No, and it really bothered me. Yeah. It was weird. It's a weird thing but then you realize is that someone's all, dude, someone wants to spend their hard-earned money and have something of yours in your home, and you're being a jerk not allowing them. I'm like, I never thought of it that way because I say I never have made art to sell it. Yeah. It's an itch I have to scratch.
Yes.
And that's exactly how I see it.
Constantly doing something like this. I just wanted to see if I could draw.
Is that Credence?
It's CCR, yeah. I wanted to see if I could draw them in a Mad Magazine style.
Dude, it's totally Mad Magazine.
And I was trying for like a late 60s Mad Magazine, like a George Woodbridge and Jack Davis. And
total Jack Davis.
Yeah, Bob Clark, like those guys.
What stuff did Bob Clark do? He didn't do the lighter side, did he?
No, that's Dave Berg.
Okay.
Bob Clark, it's his style I can define more. It's more he would do a lot of like grayscale stuff. I don't know, just something.
No, I do know Bob Clark.
Yeah,
I do remember. A little cartoon, similar to Jack Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
So
that's great. As soon as I saw that, I'm all that Credence.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta try because I want to that's always been kind of a goal in the back of my mind is like, what if I could apply for Mad Magazine even if they said you're not good enough?
Do they still make that magazine?
Yeah, they started it over and it's on the West Coast now. So I might send them. I mean, I'm constantly productive. I might as well try and do something with it. I like some of these are published in books or on record covers, and this is a children's book I'm working on. But if I'm gonna do it anyway for fun, I might as well try.
Totally. No. So you started. So first you got interested doing stuff for bands.
Yes.
Now posters. Were you doing T-shirts too?
Yeah. The first band that made T-shirts and an album cover for me or with my stuff is a band from San Jose. They were called Seed.
Yeah.
And it was '93. So I was still like on the very tail end of high school, and I did it. And I just had met them. After a show, I was like, "Oh, you guys are great. Do you guys ever need artwork?" And they're like, "Actually, we do. We need somebody to do posters." And I was so excited to do it. I was like, "Oh!" And every show, I was like, "Here's 3 different ones. Choose them." And they're like, just make them all,
Yeah, that's cool.
I would just go to the liquor store with dimes and make them, copies or Since I was in high school, I would go to the library and make copies there. And in high school is when my friend and I started making zines together. So. It was him that pushed me.
What was your first zine?
His zine was called Punt, P-U-N-T, exclamation point. And so we made...
Was that an acronym or was it...
No, he and a buddy that he had that I never met, that was just like, they would just run by each other in the hall and be like, Punt! And so I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's still his graphic design name now is Punt.
Awesome.
Yeah. So... we did it together. We made a few issues, and it kind of fell apart. And then I tried making more zines as the years went by. Like I went to community college in San Luis Obispo, and I lived in a place called Grover Beach, and I was so bored because I used to go to shows all the time, and there were no shows. You had to go all the way to Santa Barbara. It was an hour away.
No shows in SLO, huh?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I gotta do something. So I started making a zine by myself, and I just kind of made them. But I didn't have anywhere to put them because even the record store I was working at didn't want them.
Really?
Yeah.
And what were they about?
It's just, my zines have always kind of been stupid stuff, like whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm drawing, or, a band I really like. The music's huge for me, so a band I really like comes up a lot.
Yeah.
But those ones, I made a copy of each because nowhere would take them.
So just one?
Yeah.
And do you still have those?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to be less of a hoarder and less of a pack rat because I've cleaned out houses and I don't want to leave.
Have you thought about printing those ones now to see if there's any interest in those, or is it kind of sacred?
They're not that good.
How do you know? I mean, we're all our own critics.
No, I look at my even the early issues. This is my main one now, Perpetually 12.
Yeah.
I look at the early issues and I'm like, no.
How many? Okay, Perpetually.
Don't let this out.
Okay, Perpetually 12.
So yeah.
So how many issues have you done of this?
That is, this is number 16. Yeah, number 16. That's the newest one.
Yeah. How long does it take you to make one?
They're all different, but I'll tell you what. This one is the Fugazi issue. I interviewed all the members of the band.
Really?
They all drew self-portraits. I got Tim Kerr from the Big Boys to draw something. David Yao from Jesus Lizard has a quote in there. I got a bunch of bands to do cover versions. No Knife.
Really?
Reunited to do one. Brandon from Crocodiles. They're all good. Bob from Braid. White Murder. They're a bunch of really incredible, talented people did them. And I'm really proud of this, but this took me 3 years.
3 years to put that zine together?
There's 2 different covers right here. This is the second cover. The first one, okay. It happened at a bad time in my life when I was having a bunch of health problems. And my job was giving me all this pressure. And it was like, I was working on this.
Was it unhealthy living health problems, or was it like real?
No, like I have like a chronic headache.
Yeah.
It's not, but at the time it was so bad that I like couldn't function. And I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to, just do regular daily work.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
So, what I was going to say is this took me 3 years, but it probably wouldn't have if I was functioning at my normal level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the thing I'm probably most proud of. This is the second cover, and it's a lino cut. It's a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
That I carved. And then
is that also a cut?
This third one is a Gakko screen printer. It's a toy from Japan.
Oh,
it's
really?
An automatic screen printer. You just put a Xerox on there. It has to be a carbon-based Xerox. And it has 2 bulbs in it. You flash it, and then it's got ink, and you just start silk screening. And you don't even have to do the motion, actually. I don't know why I did that. You just do this. And then you press it down, and the ink goes through the... It's amazing. I'll bring one by.
I need one of those.
Yeah,
That's also rad.
I saw it on somebody's Instagram, and I was like, I need that.
And then what about this cover?
That one. So that issue is all stuff that I did.
Uh-huh.
It was because I was so frustrated at how long this one took that I wanted another one right away.
And how long did that one take? This one?
That one took a day because I just had all this stuff already.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't take a day. It took, it's years of different stuff.
Yeah.
But it took a day to assemble it because I wanted another one. I went to Europe for my first time last year, and I wanted something that was like, this is me.
Yeah.
So I put this one out. But mostly these are collaborative, except for, here's the other one that came out right after that. This one's all lino cuts, and you can flip through it. Every single one is hand printed. I had a couple people help me with the printing itself, but I carved every stamp in there.
No, this is a total new age thing. Is this in PDF format so people can see it, or no?
That one's only that. And I don't know. I'm never going to print it again that way because it was way too much work in it. It's physical labor that hurts after a while.
Yeah. This is rad.
Thank you. But I'm thinking I might print one. I don't know. It's kind of cooler this way.
How many did you make of this?
43.
Yeah. Did they sell out?
I think I have 3 of them left.
How much are they?
Those ones are 20.
I want to buy one.
Okay.
I think this is rad.
Thank you.
Like I said, I've been interested in woodcuts, lino cuts, and all that
I
stuff.
can teach you. That's what I did. There was a place called the Art Stash right here on El Cajon Boulevard.
Yeah, I remember that.
I taught lino cuts, and I taught. Every week I had a drawing and painting get together. Anybody was welcome, and if they didn't know how to draw or they said they didn't know how to draw, I would teach them.
What got you interested in the wood? Is it woodcuts, lino cuts, both? What do you like?
Both.
Because I see this
that
right here.
That one's wood.
Yeah.
That one is. I just had that piece of wood, and I was like, try something. I'll just try this.
Exactly.
Yeah. But almost all of these are rubber stamps.
Mm-hmm.
They're Speedball, Speedy Carve. They're like pink. They also make one this long. That's what the centerfold of Bill and Ted one is.
I looked into the Speedball carvers with little red handles. Are they the goods?
Yeah. I'll show you how to do it if
Okay.
you want.
I seriously do.
Yeah. It's very fun. I feel like anybody that uses that stuff can make something cool looking. It doesn't matter. Skill level, that doesn't matter. It'll look cool just because it's that.
Yeah.
So.
What's your printing method?
So, by hand, I ink it with a brayer. I have a tray for the ink, and I do the brayer, and then I put it on the block, and then I put the paper on that, and then I usually either feel it by hand or I have a whatever they call those things, bearing, that you put down on it and you iron it. So,
You iron it?
well, with the bearing,
okay.
not with a
Okay, like I said, I'm like, I don't know anything about this.
Function, you know. So
how long does it take you to like? Okay, let me see this one.
Tear them up. Tell me.
How this one stood out.
Ape shall never kill
ape shall not kill ape. I mean, that's rad. That's so classic.
Thought I brought you a card of that. I have a card of that for you.
How long did that take you to?
That was probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that the lino cut or wood?
Lino cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wood is harder. The wood takes longer. Actually, it's not harder. It's the same action.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you have to put more physical effort into it.
And how many prints can you get out of a cut?
A rubber stamp?
Yeah.
Unless they break, which if you've carved them too much, sometimes they'll break.
Yeah.
But unless they break, it's pretty unlimited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's also a thing I can show you where it's like a styrofoam plate, and you draw on it with a pencil, and you can get, I'd say, like 20 good prints, and then you put it away for a week, and it kind of raises back up, and you get 20 more good prints.
Really?
Yeah.
On styrofoam?
It's a special like plate of it, but
okay.
I mean, I'm sure you could cut out a styrofoam plate, and it would work the same.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I love to learn. So
yeah,
that
me
fascinating
too.
to me.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one, you got a lot of stuff here. So you're working on a kid's book.
Yeah. So there's a woman in San Diego named Sunny Ray, and she's in children's development. And a mutual friend said she's looking for somebody to illustrate her children's book.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always wanted to do at least since I graduated high school. I set a goal. I'm going to illustrate a children's book. And I always put it off because I wanted to be perfect. But
it'll never be perfect.
It'll never be perfect. Not just it'll never be perfect, but it's not going to be perfect if you don't do 100 before you get to the perfect one.
Yeah.
So,
have you gotten to a point where you almost sometimes appreciate the mistakes?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I do too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it was more of a mental block than anything. And what's funny is I'm the person that'll say like, oh, that's just a mental block to other people, but
and you can't.
When it's you. It's like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this koala dude, I deliberately made the koala non-gender.
Yeah.
Just so anybody can see it and say that's you, that to your child. That's you. And this, we love you. That's what the whole book's about. And so what I tried to do was I tried to do these opening pages in ballpoint. And I might color one or two of them, but I think I might leave them this way because I want it to evolve as the story goes along. Yeah. Like a child grows up, kind of. And so, like, when you're a little dude, like, everything is overwhelming. So it's almost like you just take in the simplest parts. Yeah. And I think that's why I wanted to leave it black and white in the beginning.
That's a cool transition.
Yeah.
Thing.
And then, like, Wizard of Oz, too. But
oh, total. Oh, what a ripoff,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. But, so, and then the color ones, I tried to make them somewhat, different. Like, how can I make them different, but make it a uniform style? Yeah. So you'll see.
Now, why is that backwards?
Oh, because he's going back in time.
Ah. Yeah. A little wordplay there.
Yeah. I like to do that. You'll see. I did a shirt for Reanimated.
And by the way, thanks for the drink. Representing here in La Mesa, Public Square.
Public Square.
My next door neighbors.
Man, I thought I brought it. It must be in the car. Did you see that one?
Which one?
The Reanimated.
Oh, anyway. This one?
No, the green shirt.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, well, is it time?
No.
Okay.
No.
There's a thing that I did that happens to be a shirt for Reanimated. And I did it all in one sitting, like just really quick. I didn't pencil first or anything. But I did all of the names for the masks backwards so that you could read it when you're standing in the mirror.
Nice.
Because the shirt's for you.
Yeah. Now, did you print any posters of that too?
No, but they made tote bags with that.
I mean, kind of cool little poster hanging out, man.
Yeah.
Now, have you had any of your artwork silkscreen posters?
Yes. There's a band called Dead Rock West. Yeah. I did probably my favorite poster I ever did, and should have brought it. I can send you the photo.
No, we'll show it up right here.
It's they did a UK tour, and I did the poster for that. and I tried to do like a Vernon Cortland Johnson,
I do not know that.
Paul Peralta.
Okay.
Yeah, VCJ.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to do some VCJ style, my best.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it. And there's also, I did one for an author named Greg Girding, and he used to be a San Diego guy, but he lives in Portland. He runs University of Hell Press, and he had a book release, and so I did one, and it came out beautiful, silk screened. I didn't
How
do
big?
silk screening. It's 11 by 17.
Oh, nice size.
It's Little Red Press in Portland did it, and they're incredible. They do work for like the Decemberists and Modest Mouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they did these for me, and like they were so thorough. They're like, "Oh, this line's kind of squared off. Did it get cut off in the scan?" I'm like, "No, that's how it looks." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." You know.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Details.
they were, and it came out beautifully. And I said, I want this pink, like and they made it that neon pink, and so yeah, it's cool when that happens. But more often than not, it's like I make them at somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's how I make zines.
But it's still rad, though.
I'm a maker, you know. So I do my best to make things.
I wish I would pull it out. This one thing, like I collect movie posters.
Oh yeah.
And I don't get I like the weird old ugly ones, and I can't afford any of that big stuff. But one I got, it's from a play from 1929, a silkscreen of Hunchback of Notre Dame. But it's so basic, but it's gorgeous.
Show me and I know it's gonna be awesome.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's like most people. You would appreciate it. I show other people like, why I'm all no, dude, you're missing it. This thing is, and plus it was 1929. Yeah, insane.
You know it's gonna be beautiful.
It's
Have the same thing. I'm trying to be less about because I don't have room to collect as much stuff. But I had this poster forever for a movie I haven't seen. It's called Skullduggery. It's got Burt Reynolds, and he like knocks up a Bigfoot in it. And so the poster is like really cool and weird.
I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
For a reason, probably.
Yeah. So.
Skullduggery.
The poster.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna find that.
Universal.
Yeah.
It's even got like the Visit Universal on the poster.
Whoa.
For this poster of him humping a Bigfoot.
They probably tried to bury that after, kind of like that Ang Lee Hulk. Remember that one? Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one poster of the Casbah. Pull that thing out.
Okay. Yeah. So this is that's my thing. I don't know why I didn't bring more of that, but.
Okay, tell me about this.
Okay, so I found out about this show from the Stallings of Sound because Hottie came into this shop and said this was our last show.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a good shot right there. So
okay. I said I'll do the poster for him, and he said, "All right, let me check with Death Eyes." And I was like, "Oh, I know Blackie. And I've done art. I've done album covers for his band Molly Maguire. I did a poster and a shirt, and I've done a lot for Molly Maguire." So Death Eyes was cool with it. So I went ahead. What I did, I started with this dude with the three eyes. And it took me forever more than anything, what took me forever was the concept. Because it started just with his nose and then his eyes, and then I was like not happy with it. And I kept working around. And here's more of like where I'm trying to do VCJ, but I'm not quite nailing it, but it kind of comes out cool. And obviously this has a Maurice Sendak feel. But then I tried to, I used a white pen over it and made it look more, it was a
cross hat or the hat printed. Scratching?
Yeah, but more like a printed plate looks because it's reduced. And then horses, I'd never really done a horse on a concert poster. I'm always trying to do something I haven't done.
The horses look good.
Thank you.
It's funny because I can see it through it right now, so I still see what you're talking about.
And I had the Death Eyes here for a while, and then I came up with the skull, and then I put Jeff Lynne in down here.
Yeah.
And a little 45 spindle.
Now, was this a poster? Was it a shirt? Both?
This was a poster, and I made a full-size copy of this.
Yeah.
And we had one up in the window at Reanimated. And they had one up at the Casbah, and then I made regular size ones too. But yeah, it was such a fun drawing, and I just kept drawing over it. And I think that's kind of the thing for a lot of my favorite work is I kind of do it over. But I don't know. Sometimes my favorite work, I'm really quick. Like these ones, I got into the dead astronaut stuff. That was going to be an album cover, but they ended up using something else.
I really like that one too.
And I did this, which is funny because I did this, which is in a book,
Now, which did you do first?
This one.
Yeah.
And this one is another of my favorites because when I was doing this book, I wanted to do my absolute best that I could at the time. And that's ever since then, that's been my goal whenever I'm doing work for somebody else, is to do my absolute best I can do.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to just look like something else. So I'd add in this, and I used a pinstriping brush for this stuff.
How are those to work with?
Weird and fun.
I've never used one, but
What's cool is you get like a thin line that goes into a thick line, and you can control it. But it's a really like a long tail.
yeah, I've seen them. As I always wondered, because I see and they're going like this, doing that long line. It's all laid out, so I guess I get the thickness.
Sometimes I get into this kind of like automatic thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I didn't. The other way's up. Yeah, that way's up. I didn't know where I was going when I started, and I just started small with triangles, and I just let it go. And then I like it. It's almost like a stained glass with
Totally like a stained glass
out or something. But sometimes that just comes out, and I'm happy when it does. So that's the thing with when I teach anybody, I say that anybody can draw.
I do too.
What I say is, you can draw. You just need to put it on the paper, make marks on the paper. You don't need to judge yourself against somebody else.
Exactly.
And who's to say what is good and what isn't good? And if that doesn't break through to them, I say, okay, let's look at the newspaper comics. Does Garfield look like a cat? No. Does Snoopy look like a dog? No.
Yeah.
Are these beloved characters that people have made tons of money on? Yes. And so it's not even about that they made the money. It's that they conveys to you, yes, this is a dog.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a cat. And, if you look through those newspaper comics, you see that every dog looks different. Marmaduke and Snoopy. And, they don't look the same. So people get it, and that's what I'm getting at is, you don't have to make it look like something else or look like itself even. You just have to convey an idea. That's all you're doing.
My favorite thing to say to them is like, oh, I wish I could draw like that. And I say, well, have you ever tried?
Yeah.
And they go, no. Well, then how do you know?
Yeah, practice.
Yeah, try it. And well, that's the thing. And let's talk about this piece. This is classic.
So that's Reanimated commissioned me for their 2nd anniversary. And I photoshopped out the poot in the final version.
Why?
Because he wanted it to look more like a fart cloud than a shit cloud.
Oh.
But the Black Sabbath Rules vest, that was my idea.
Yeah.
The little eagle on his jeans and the pointy toes on his boots.
No, that's a great piece.
For their poster, I colored it in Photoshop because.
Is this a ballpoint pen?
No, that's a pencil.
Oh, is it? Wow, that's pretty dark for pencil.
Yeah, it's like a mechanical pencil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I see it.
Yeah, because of course, anytime they want something, it's like, hey, can you do this yesterday?
Always.
Yeah.
Now, I see you got stickers too.
Yes. So that's my big treasure lately is I've been making stickers, and I have a website called StokedOnStickers.com.
Yeah.
And I also make magnets. You can bust that open. That's for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. What do we got? Yeah.
I brought some more for you also.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, that's rad.
That's Joe Strummer from The Clash.
And my friend Salva will love that. Do you know Salva, skater?
I know who he is.
Oh, he'll love that. He's coming to do this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
For those.
Are you getting Tommy Guerrero?
I haven't even thought about that yet.
He's been so friendly with me on Instagram because I got a Gakko printer and I've been asking him questions.
Oh.
He's got one and we're trying to figure it out kind of together. I've never met the guy in person, but.
Well, tell me about how'd you get the stickers?
I've always wanted that. Like anytime I've done anything for a band, I wanted to make stickers, and it very rarely happened. One band I did.
That is great.
Thank you.
I mean, if you don't understand where he got that from instantly, then you don't know. That is full on Where the Wild Things Are by Marie Sendak.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, instantly.
That's my favorite. That's where I learned to draw, I think, is Sendak.
That is one of the most classic books.
I think that's
Those
when I
are
finally
awesome.
sat down and when I could copy like Where the Wild Things Are, like the whole thing, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can do okay. I can't complain.
Yeah. No, it's great. Are you selling a lot of them?
No, not at all. I have the website and I've sold 4 stickers.
Okay, so we'll see right here. It's whatever this thing is.
StokedOnStickers.com. Bing.
There it is.
Bling.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so now we do the T-shirt swap. Now you're talking about the T-shirt.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
It's a T-shirt. This is for you. It's Jody sized.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, Reanimated Records.
Okay, I'm gonna break the rules here. Usually these are for other people. I'm keeping this one.
Okay. This actually is just an ad that I stole from Famous Monsters.
Yeah.
Magazine, 60s one. And like I said, I put the names backwards so that you could read them in the mirror.
Awesome. Here, you guys sign that for me.
I will.
That's definitely a keeper.
So I had originally just done this on a shirt for Nick in Sharpie.
Yeah.
And then people were asking if they could buy them. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That is super cool. And you still get to pick a shirt out of the collection over there.
Nice.
And he even signs it backwards.
Yep, always.
All right, Leonardo.
Do you ever try that? You ever try the drawing with both hands?
No, but one thing I saw that freaked me out is because, this lady, she had special gloves, and at the end of each glove was a long stick, and at the end of each stick was a piece of chalk. Wow. She went up to a chalkboard and wrote the numbers 0 through 9 at once.
Whoa!
So I started drawing 1 and 2. I can't do each finger did a number at the same time. Wow! That's an alien right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go pick you out a shirt.
Cool.
Well, they're all mixed in, and this is just only 200 of over 6,000 that I have.
Thanks.
Because, did I tell you my concept for this?
No.
I'm gonna have an art gallery filled with T-shirts.
Oh wow.
And because not everyone's in the market to buy art, but everyone can come in and buy a T-shirt for $20 to help keep the doors open. Because you're not buying a T-shirt for $20.
Yeah.
You're donating to a cause, but still getting something for it.
That Calvin and Hobbes one's cool, but it's a medium. I'm a fatty. Oh. Okay. Joey is for real one of my best friends, so I feel like I have to pick this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.